So everyone, welcome to our Get Your Body Back monthly coaching series. A lot of times I try to do our streaming video live here, and it depends. We've had some internet challenges in Georgia. There's been a lot of thunderstorms. So when I do live stream plus webcast plus audio, the audio can be a bit spotty. So tonight I'm going to have a lot of screenshots for you. But as long as my internet and bandwidth is strong in the future, I will be doing the live streaming as well. So let's dive in. I want to open with the story. I was thinking about what inspired the webinar tonight is we've got Abby, me, Hunter, and Hope. We're Disney World passport holders. And I've been going to Orlando. If you've been following me on Facebook, been in Orlando a few times over the past month. And a few weeks ago, I was in Orlando at Disney World. And we were sitting and we were talking as a family. And a nice lady came up to me. And this doesn't happen often. But she said, are you Mark McDonald from CNN? And I said, yeah, I am. And she said, could I ask you a question? I said, of course. She said, my two kids were just diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And she has a son and a daughter. And she said, we really are looking for a solution. We really need to do something, and we don't know where to start. And that reminded me of why I do what I do, why I'm here. What all of this is all about is to help educate people in the way where we can inspire people to be their very best. So we spent about 10 minutes. And I did a presentation a few weeks ago in Salt Lake City I spoke about the why and the mindset. And you guys have heard me speak about that before. What is your why and what's the mindset? But it went further for me. And that's what I want tonight to be about. We forget about plan. You guys know I teach blood sugar. That's what I believe in with all of my heart. But before the plan, because you can have the greatest education. You can know exactly what you should be eating and what you should do. But if you don't have the right infrastructure in place, you're going to struggle. And that's really the message that I want to share with that family. As I said, not only do we have to get your mindset and get you clear on what you get from your health, but we got to set you up with the right structure. So tonight, 15 to 20 minutes, I want to dive into the 5 things that are so crucial, the 5 key elements that will set you up to win. Now, as we talk tonight and as you dive in, I want you to make sure that you're taking notes. I want you to look at this. Some of this might be stuff that you already know, but I must be honest with you that back in 2005, when Hunter was born, when I put on 35 pounds for 2 years, I struggled to do these 5 things that are on your screen right now. And what I also understand is I still struggle. We got back from Disney World after being there. I was working and we were going to the parks, and I was tired. We got back late Saturday night, Sunday morning, and I've been tired. And I get hit on a Monday with so many different tasks like we all do. And what I have to always go back to, and this visual you see on your screen is what I have on my wall. I have to go back to my key elements that keep me on plan. And that's going to be my feedback and my invitation in our coaching session tonight. It's for you to set up winning strategies for these 5 points. Because what I can guarantee you is if you can own these 5 points, you can take your body and health wherever you want. And that when you have a tough week or when you have a tough moment or when you go on vacation, you can snap it right back in. And just like that family at Disney World, there's a lot of things that they need to do to solve their challenges with their weight and with diabetes. But one of the biggest things is getting clear on these 5 key elements. So let's dive on in. So the first thing is this. And I want you to have a pen out so that you're taking notes, or you can pull out your phone and take notes. So the first thing is set a weekly grocery shopping schedule. Now, I'm going to pull up I'm going to pull up the sites here. When I look at, if you go to the markmcdonald.tv/food frenzy, there's a lot of great stuff that I'm going to be talking about throughout that you can see all these different videos. And once again, if you go to markmcdonald.tv, if you have a topic, you can just hit the search button. But one of the food frenzy, when we look at setting a weekly grocery shopping schedule, is I have a whole video that I did with Michael Lanos talking about how to shop in a grocery store. And that's what we want to look at. How many times have you struggled with your food because you didn't have food in your house? Raise your hand, because I can tell you right now that that's been me many times. If you don't, I love that people are raising their hand on the webinar. If you don't have food in your house, it's almost impossible to stay on plan. So I feel many times if I miss my weekly grocery schedule, or we don't do that, when we are in Disney World, there's so much of us that wanted to stay one extra day. But Abby and I knew that if we didn't come back late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, we wouldn't have been set up for the week to win and we'd be scrambling. So right now, I want you to write down, what's the day that you feel you can commit to every single week to grocery shop? Whether it's going to Costco, whether it's going to Publix, whether it's going to whatever your local grocery store is. We go to Costco on a weekly basis. So right now I want you to write that down. I love that. We have Saturday, we have Sunday. We got some, so that's Hillary Schaefer's on Sunday, Mary Messer's on Saturday. So you want to start looking at what is that day? And then this is the other thing. What's your backup day? What's the backup day? So if you miss Sunday, so if Hillary misses Sunday, what's your backup day? These are the things you have to start being prepared for. Because the number one way you're going to struggle with your food is if you don't have it in your fridge, if you're not stocked up to win. Okay, so that's the first strategy. Set a weekly grocery shopping schedule. And I'm telling you right now, if you can honor that, and this would be my invitation to you for the next month, till our next webinar in September, I want these 5 things to be what you focus on. So I want a commitment from you that you're gonna make sure that you're gonna implement this every single week to set yourself up to win, and then you're gonna start seeing the rhythm. Okay, now, and then we have Kendall who says several days to get fresh produce. So you might have more, like Jody Stevens goes twice a week. So you might have to do more than once a week. Well, whatever it is, set up a schedule with it. Okay, the next thing is create a realistic weekly workout plan. Now, I posted a picture on Facebook, and I'm going to pull this up here. I just have to find it right here. I think. Hold on one sec. I got to pull this up. Sorry, I had this. Thought I had this set up, and I didn't have it set up here. Now we do. Okay, so if you look at your screen, this is the weekly workout schedule that I posted on Facebook. And this is right on my desk. So as I'm talking to you right now, I'm looking at this literally on my wall. And it reminds me every day. And what I want to help you with is that once you have your grocery shopping, now we have a weekly workout schedule. You want to make sure that you diversify it. So when I look at, and I'll go back to this graphic, but when I look at your exercise, you want to set it up so that you're doing a variety of high intensity cardio, which is going to work your white muscle fiber. You're doing fat burning cardio, which is going to work your red muscle fiber, and then you're doing strength training, which is going to actually break down your muscle fiber so it grows back stronger. By diversifying your exercise, it's not about doing more, it's about becoming better at what you do. So when I look at maximizing your cardio, this is a perfect example of the difference between fat burning cardio and high intensity cardio. Fat burning cardio works your red muscle, high intensity works your white muscle. So when I set up my workout schedule, which I'll go back to, is I made sure that I was doing high intensity cardio and strength training on opposite days, and then each one of those sessions were followed by fat burning cardio. Now this is how you're activating, because fat is burned in muscle. So if you're only doing one type of exercise, then you're only able to burn fat in 50% of your body. So that's why it's so crucial that you're doing a variety of your 2 types of cardio and your strength training. So when you go back to the workout schedule, let's look at how I set it up. So I set up Monday morning before I look at Facebook, before I look at my phone. And this was a great tip that I got from Brendan Burchard about productivity. I was at a Idea World, and Brendan did a presentation, and he said he doesn't even look at his phone for the first 2 hours that he's up, because he looks at what he's going to accomplish that day, so he doesn't react to other things. So my invitation to you is this: how many times do you feel that your workout gets derailed because you're looking at a project that gets thrown at you last minute, or you're reacting to something? So whether you're morning or night, the key is to have a clear structure on how you're going to do it. Now, there's flexibility in my structure. I'm going to walk you through it. So Monday, Tuesday, you see my morning workouts, and you see the difference between strength training, high intensity, and then followed by fat burning. I choose my best types of exercises. So for fat burning, I do for my strength training, I do workout at home. For my high intensity cardio, I do footwork training. I do spinning. I'll do sprinting. I'll do jump roping. I'll do interval training on that. And then for the fat burning cardio, I'll either use my bike, I'll walk the dogs. So I have a variety of the movements that work for me. So I want you right now to think about, what is your weekly workout schedule? How can you create a diversity of it? And what are some different options that you have with exercise to make sure that you don't get bored? You see, on Tuesday night, I play indoor soccer. That's a bonus. That's like my time. On Friday, I do Sky Zone with Hunter. We're in a dodgeball team, and we do a 2-hour dodgeball festival of indoor trampoline dodgeball. And then Saturday and Sunday, we do some family exercise. Now, I wanted to up the ante for myself to hold myself accountable to this. So Hunter and I did a little bit of bet. He plays soccer, so he has his own soccer schedule, workout schedule at home. And he has to do his 3 to 4 days, an hour. And just like I have to do mine 4 days a week for an hour. And if I don't, I have to pay him $500. And if he doesn't, he has to give me a 250-minute massage. So my point is, you have to find ways that keep yourself accountable. Okay, so weekly workout schedule and then grocery shopping. So grocery shopping, set that day, and your weekly workout schedule, start looking at how are you going to implement that. Now, the third thing, let me close this down. The third thing is keeping a stocked MRFK. So I want you to think about right now, I want you to write down, what are your favorite proteins, fats, and carbohydrates? Lay that out right now. So since you have your shopping, now you got your workout, write down what are your favorite proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. When I look at, and this is another blog on the Mark McDonald TV site, when I look at an MRFK, your MRFK is your mobile readiness food kit. So you can have food at home, you can be getting your workouts in, but I can just use last night an example. As I was driving to indoor soccer, Hunter had soccer training before I went to indoor soccer. If I didn't have some protein shakes, if I didn't have some bars, if I didn't have some nuts and some fruit, if I didn't have some mobile readiness food, how would I ever stay on plan? So once you're set up, you must be able to move on the road. So I love Clean Canteen. Those are the water bottles I use. I love the Clean Canteen stainless steel containers. I use a 6-pack cooler. And I have a few of each of all of these. I use a blender bottle, shaker bottle. But basically what I do is I have the right tools to win with my mobile readiness food kit. And then I have hard-boiled eggs. If I'm on the road, I'll just get the ones that are already made, or I'll make them. Turkey slices I get from Fresh Market. I have a great nitrate-free turkey jerky that I'll use. Protein powder like Core Zen, Protoway. And then I'll use protein bars like Quest Bar and Power Crunch Bar. And my fats will be nuts and avocado. And then my carbs primarily for me are fruits and vegetables when I'm on the grab and go. So now what I'd like you to do is you have your grocery shopping day. You're setting up your weekly workout schedule. I want you to make sure that you're clear on your actual mobile readiness food kit. So list right now 3 of your favorite proteins, 3 of your favorite carbs, and 3 of your favorite fats. And let me hear from a few of you. So I love that. So Jody Stevens says bison, spaghetti squash, and mixed veggies. So these are the things you want to keep looking. And what's fun is now with containers like Clean Canteen is you can take hot food and keep it warm. So this tonight is all about you creating your system, you setting up to win. It's not even about what plan you're following. That's a mistake I think a lot of times people say, oh, well, I got to do this plan. No. If you're stabilizing your blood sugar, I don't know what plan you do, as long as you're balancing your blood sugar. But the reality is that if you don't have this infrastructure, you're not going to win. So weekly grocery shopping, set a realistic weekly workout plan, keep a stocked MRFK, and that's going to set you up with your fitness and your food. That's a baseline. Right now, I want you to ask yourself on the fourth one, how's your sleep rate? If you're on a 1 through 10, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, what do you rate your sleep? How strong is your sleep right now? There's an email that's going to be going out tomorrow, and it's a blog that I'm going to be posting on Facebook that really dives into your sleep, because it's not what you eat. And I want you to remember this. It's not what you eat. It's what you metabolize. So when I come up here and I go to, when I look at your number one weight loss enemy is lack of sleep, this is a whole blog and email that will be going out tomorrow. And it's on the Mark McDonald site. You can just Google sleep. You can just search sleep and it will come up. But basically, you have your sleep cycles, your hormones that trigger the weight gain when you're sleep deprived, and the 5 strategies you need to master your sleep. Now, what I'm going to talk about right now, I'm not going to dive into the power of 90. You can read that. You can dive into this blog. But what I want to specifically talk about tonight are the 5 strategies to master your sleep. When I look at maintaining a solid sleep structure, I want you to think about every single time you're sleep deprived. Are you more bloated? Are you more irritable? Do you struggle a little bit more with cravings? And most likely, I think it would be yes for that. We're looking at, some people are rating themselves as a 5 out of 10 on sleep. Some are 8 out of 9. I look at Aaron Anderson, 8 out of 9. At Tony's an 8. Sue Carney's a 5. I look at Kendall, who's an 8. So if you're close to a 10, that's fantastic. If you're at the 5, and I would say that right now my sleep is a 5 or 6 because we have a newborn who's 3 months old, and Abby's is probably a 3. So we're pushing through that. But that makes it, as my life evolves, as your life evolves, I have to keep going back to these 5 principles that I'm sharing with you tonight. And especially on this 4th one, when we're talking about maintaining a solid sleep structure, it's these 5 strategies to master your sleep. I set a sleep schedule. I wake up the same time each day, no matter how late I go to bed. What this does is it keeps my body in rhythm. Now, you can make up sleep. So when you're set a sleep schedule, you want to look at what time do you need to wake up each day and what time do you need to go to bed. That's your starting point. So if I need 7 hours of sleep, I'm going to wake up at 6, go to bed at 11. If I go to bed at 1, I'm still waking up at 6. I'm 2 hours in the hole though. So what I need to do is go to bed a little bit earlier the next night and the next night so you can make up sleep. Strategy 2, break the snooze button. You got to resist it. Every ounce of sleep after that snooze button is useless sleep. So as you understand REM sleep and light sleep to deep sleep, every ounce of second of sleep after the snooze button is light sleep. So you never go back into deep sleep, which means that it's pretty much useless, because deep sleep charges your body. REM sleep, which is after deep sleep, charges your mind. And this is a great diagram of the power of 90 minutes of sleep of your cycle. So read on that. But when you talk about resisting the snooze button, so crucial. Strategy 3, think about when you're in a dark environment. Your body releases your body's sleep hormone, melatonin. So that's why you need to make sure that you're sleeping in a dark environment. Now, a quiet environment, because your body goes through sleep cycles, you have to make sure that you're in a quiet. Now, if you need a noise machine, that's fine. Strategy 4, we do this with Hope. Abby's been amazing at it. And what's so cool is having a baby. Is you're refreshed on everything, blood sugar and sleep and stress and fatigue. But Hope needs downtime to sleep. So they have a bedtime ritual. So she takes on the day. She has a calming factor. They do a bath. She goes in her jammies. And that's her relaxation moment. And then she sleeps through the night. Same thing for you. Are you pushing through the day and then not having any proper downtime? Are you struggling to fall asleep? Are you waking up in the middle of the night? One huge tip is to write down your thoughts an hour before bed. And then strategy 5, and if you're doing the detox or ignite phase, if you're thriving in the body confidence plan, back off on the booze a bit. People think that alcohol helps you sleep. It helps you enter sleep, but it completely interrupts your sleep cycle. So those are the 5 strategies. So when we go back to the elements that you're focusing on right now, the whole goal for this month of this whole coaching series is to set your grocery shopping day, and you might need multiple days, but be consistent with it. Create the workout plan, keep a stocked MRFK, maintain your sleep structure by focusing on those 5 points. And then the last one, and this is a hard one for all of us, is to be present with your stress. We know, I don't need to tell anyone on this webinar that you need to stress less. We all know that. But being present with your stress is being aware of it. There's too many times that I see people, and I've talked to clients of mine that are not aware of their stress. They internalize. And you know that your body's stress hormone is cortisol. So my invitation to you for this month is to get a stress journal. And every time that you have that moment of excitement or your blood starts to pump, you're sitting in traffic, something triggers a high level of stress, write it down. If you have too many of those moments, what ends up happening is that causes you to enter something called chronic stress. And chronic stress means that you're in a state where your body will not burn fat, your hormones are going to be completely imbalanced, it's going to interrupt your sleep cycles, and your body's not going to be in a positive state. So getting aware of your stress, and it's not a difficult thing, it's starting to look at what can you react to, what you can't react to, and what solutions you are. So my best invitation to you is, number one, you got to be present to it. So if you don't know you're stressed, then there's nothing you can do. So you have to first become aware. And then you simply have to create a solution. My best advice that I do is I say, what's the worst case? 99.9% of the time, the worst case, so what, I'm late for a meeting. Okay. Besides a tragedy, the worst case isn't that bad. So then I look at what the worst case is, and that calms me. And then the last thing I do is I say, okay, how do I prevent this from happening again? That's the key. Great example is Hunter. We were running late for a soccer practice because of traffic. I said, what did I do? I worked too long. I needed to give myself 20 more minutes. So I became aware of the stress. I said, what's the worst case? We're 10 minutes late for practice. And I said, next time I'm going to have to stop 20 minutes earlier so I can properly get ready so we can leave on time. When I do that enough, I quickly can negate the stress. And that's what I really wanted to focus on tonight, is these 5 elements. So that you set up your food with your grocery shopping, your MRFK. You create the proper workout plan that allows you to diversify. And then you maximize the bookends of your health with your sleep structure and present with your stress. Those are the 5 key elements. Now, before we go to Q&A, there's a couple things I want to end with and update you on. When I look at the 8-week run, and one thing on the exercise, when I talked about exercise, on the markmcdonald.tv/exercise adventures, there's a lot of different ways. So if you're saying, Mark, I don't want to, spin on a bike, I don't want to do particular things, dive in to this. There's tons of cool videos, like how we turned our home into a family fitness fun house. There's great things that you can dive into that can help you with that. And as all of you know, we launched the new 8-week run coaching series. Now, a lot of these things that I talked about, if you're diving into the 8-week run, if you're new to this webinar series, if there's one program, 2 paths. We have Make Your 8-Week Run, which is your Detox, Ignite, Thrive phase, and then we have the Body Confidence Plan. So you can dive into either one. But when we look at the new 8-week run plan, it sets you up to win, plug and play. My goal for this webinar was not to talk about a program, eating in threes, or anything like that. It was to set you up to win, that after you own those 5 things, now you got to start saying, okay, what eating philosophy are you going to take on? So you can go to 8weekrun.com and learn more about that. And then this is the new software. I did our last coaching series, I walked everyone through it. And what I liked was the video, hold on, log me out. I got to log back in. So the video and podcast right here is what I like, is that a lot of things that we talked about here, when I look at this coaching series, exercise and but how to master your sleep. So a lot of that I talked about here, I dive into from a video perspective. Conquering your stress, same thing, create proper solutions for that. So when you start looking at these coaching webinars, I want to be clear that this is one of your plug and play. But once again, through our support mechanisms, you have the Facebook groups, you have the recipe collections, you have the blogs, you have our show on HLN, Transformation Tuesdays, you have our coaching series, and then you have an expert team of coaches that are always there to help. So my point being is I don't want these web series to be the only touch point you have. I'm clear that to truly take your body and health to that next level, you need support every step of the way. Tonight's goal was very simple. It was about setting you up with the first step to winning with your health, which wasn't your plan, but setting up the right health structure. Make this month that you implement this. 2 weeks ago, I visited with my dad. And my dad, many of you know, has been struggling with health for a long time. He's 6'2", and he's 106 pounds. And when I saw him and talked to him and see the place he is, he's been in the hospital for a few weeks. And it was a touch and go. His lung collapsed, and we didn't know if he was going to make it. And I sat there and I thought about, what if that same conversation I had with that family from Disney I had with my dad? What if I could have told him and helped him with the information and education I have now, which is why I love what Aaron Anderson said, is that it's all about education. When I sat there and I look at him and I see how he is and I think about how he's handled stress and how he hasn't slept and how he's made some choices that hasn't helped him, and he has bad ulcers and he's had multiple bypasses because of scar tissue from ulcers and his stomach closing and his internal bleeding, and I think about the conversations I wish I could have had with him 20 years ago, 10 years ago. Conversations that I now have with Hunter, that I live myself, that we're going to have with Hope. That's what we're doing here. That's why I'm honored that you're on this web series. Because I love my dad, and it's hard to see him struggling. He was the greatest man that I've known, and he's struggling with his health right now. And I just love him, and I want to be there for him. But I also understand that there were choices he could have made that could have made a difference. And that's what tonight's about. And that's what every day that I'm sharing information is about. And I know so many of you are then inspiring others to do the same. It's much more than just doing a plan. It's much more than just eating food. It's about living a life that allows you to be the very best. We can't determine how long we live in this world, but what we can choose is the quality of life that we choose to live every day. Make this month the month that you set yourself up to win. This structure is not something that leaves you. This structure becomes the baseline, the game plan that sets you up to win for the rest of your life. Everyone, thank you so much for being part of this coaching series. I'm going to stop the recording, and then I'm going to go right into open Q&A. And I want you to make sure that this month you own these 5 elements. And get ready, because each month there's going to be new info, new content that's going to continue building upon everything that you're learning each and every webinar, blog, Facebook post that we can grow together for you to take your body health to the next level. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.